All right. What's up, everybody? So in today's video, we're going to go over, the new tools that we've added to the Investment Intelligence Discord, the Zone Finder, as well as the Pulse Radar. We've got another tool coming also as well, known as the Compression Hunter. All right. Let's start off with the Zone Finder. All right. Now, this is what the channels are going to look like once they're all fully finished and available to the public. They will be released to the public here soon. But I just want to give you guys a quick breakdown. So, basically what you'll do is you'll come here, you'll right click this, click copy link, okay? And then you're going to head into your Thinkorswim. And on the Thinkorswim platform, what you simply want to do is come over here to setup, okay? And then once you click there on setup, you will be able to click on open shared item, right? And all you have to do is paste that in there. Okay, so in this case, would hit, would come in here, paste this in. I've already got these things in my system, so I don't necessarily need them. But all you do is, come in here, copy paste, hit preview, and then hit import. Okay, and it will be saved in there. Now, the Zone Finder is the first one that we're going to be going over. Okay, so this is the study set that comes with the Zone Finder. And what it does is it charts a demand zone, okay, in green, and it charts a supply zone in red. Okay, now these are going to be your entries and exits. Okay, now if we go back, and take a look at this, right? What I'm doing is I'm going to be posting these, about once a week in the Discord, specifically in the Zone Finders, typically on the weekend. So this way, you guys will have, into the coming week, you'll have a watch list, right? And they are thematic. So the Zone Finder specifically is focused a little bit more on the 1 hour time frame, right? These indicators do work on multiple time frames, right? So if we switch this to a daily, it'll show you some different things. But the Zone Finder is looking for stocks that are in a 1 hour demand zone or supply zone or touching their risk on entries. Okay, so let me explain that to you real quick, what I mean by the risk on entries. So, right, you have the bottom of your demand zone, right? You have the top of your demand zone. Okay, typically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking for some type of entry in demand. Okay, now you also have your risk on entry. So for Zone Finder longs, okay, this is your risk on entry level, meaning that if you missed an entry in demand, okay, for instance, if you missed this entry on a retest into demand and you want to get into the play and still have some exposure, well, anything below this level here would be considered a risk on entry and still good to enter the play. Now, your risk reward ratio isn't going to be as favorable, okay? So if you look, this is 34.58. It's going to plot all the levels for you. So 34.58, this right here is essentially 34. So, risking about 50 cents. Your first target up here is 35.29. So a little over 50 cents for, your first take profit. Your second take profit level will be, the bottom of the supply zone. And the third take profit level will be the top of the overhead supply zone. Now, you guys know me. I like to use the Fibonacci's a lot. So when I'm doing my analysis on these, I'm going to go over the key Fibonacci levels. I'm going to chart the 38.2 and the 61.8. Okay, I know platforms put in the 23.6 and the 50% and the 78.6, but those technically are not true Fibonacci numbers. Okay, they're just kind of like extensions of the formula. All right, so those are the key levels. What's also really great, all right, about this is that you do get the anchored VWAP indicator. So you can come on here, you can hit edit study. Okay, and this is how you use the anchored VWAP in Thinkorswim. You have to put in the actual specific date and the time. Okay, so there is a little bit of manual effort into this. That's just how Thinkorswim is. It doesn't have a drawing for the anchored VWAP like TradingView does, right? So every platform has, their pluses and minuses. So you will have to manually change this. Okay, but for instance, this stock right here was on the very first Zone Finder list, right? If we come back here, you can see, and this is what I mean by I'll be posting these in the Discord, for you guys. But we had KHC in here. I think it was this one maybe. I'm not too positive, honestly. But I know that this one did pop up in the zone finders here recently. And so yeah, so I mean, this is just an example, right? So in this case, we've got the anchored VWAP up to the highs, because we're looking for a long entry, right, in demand. Being that it's a 1 hour time frame, a lot of these plays can be great day trades, right? So you don't always have to hold to the take profit level. You'll always have a defined risk level to stop yourself out. Being that it's a 1 hour time frame, you are going to use these stop levels on a close of a 1 hour candlestick below your levels. Okay. And you just have to respect the stops. Okay. The zone finder is meant to give you guys very good risk to reward ratios, where if you can, capture an entry into demand, oftentimes you're going to have a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Okay. And all of these are also going to be stocks that have weekly options. Okay. Stocks with weekly options tend to be more liquid stocks. So liquidity is not going to be too much of an issue. Now the option chain may not be as liquid every single week for weekly options. If you are someone who's looking to trade significant size in some of these trades, and these zone finder trades, I would recommend going with, looking at the option chain and going with something that has a large amount of open interest or volume, or going with the monthly option expiration dates. So what do I mean by that? Well, simply, if you take a look here at KHC, you can see, these are all weeklies. Okay. The monthly option expiration chain will just be highlighted like this in gray on Thinkorswim. So you can come in here on weeklies, and as you can see, there was over 2,000 contracts traded on the call options today. So good volume. So these are meant to be actionable trade ideas that you guys can take action on, not have to worry too much about liquidity. Okay. And get into the trades. So this is the zone finder. That is your basic explanation of it. All right. And you guys will get this indicator set, and you will also gain access to the scan. To run the scan, it's very simple. It'll once you import the scan, it'll be a saved item. Once you save it, you just go to load scan query, and then, for instance, you would come in here and you would hit zone finder, right? Longs, if you're looking for longs. Right, come in here, you hit scan, it will give you the results. Right now, you can also, let's go over the pulse finder. Okay, so the pulse radar, we're going to go ahead and pull this one up right here. All right, you'll come in here, you'll hit scan. We have lows and we have DG. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come in here now and load up a new study set, or I save them as flexible grids. That's what I recommend you guys doing. And so the flexible grid that you guys are going to get is going to be the streaks. The reason I have this, and the way that this is set up with the pulse radar. So the zone finder we went over is for more shorter term trades, is focusing on a 1 hour time frame. The pulse radar is also going to be, a little bit more of a shorter term, but not necessarily as short, right? So the zone finder can be anywhere from a day trade to, a swing trade lasting, a couple days or maybe up to a week. The pulse radar is going to focus more specifically on swing trades that can last anywhere from a day or two, or somewhere even longer, right? So if we come to lows, the reason that we have this study set, all right, is because it charts the buy and sell signal for you guys. So anytime the candlesticks flip green, that is going to be the buy signal going off. Anytime the candlesticks flip red, that is going to be the sell signal going off. And so what I like about it is you can basically see how accurate the buy sell signal is on that specific ticker. So we can see that a majority of the time, once this flips green, sometimes we do have to be patient, okay? And overall, price tends to head higher, right? Flip screen over here, price tends to head higher. Here, we had it to about 2-3 days, and then we got the sell signal. So essentially, the way you would use the pulse radar is you're waiting for the sell signal to sell. Okay. And that is going to be your sell signal. So with that, what I would recommend is choosing options. And again, these are filtered to be weekly option stocks, meaning that these stocks are going to be more liquid, that they're going to have better liquidity on the option chain as well. So I would recommend choosing call options or put options, depending on whether it's a long or short trade idea, anywhere from about 45 to 90 days out. That's just my general thesis, okay? And the reason being is because typically you want to have enough time for the trade to develop. Sometimes it may take a week or two for the trade to develop. And if you have call options that are 45 days to expiration, that gives you some extra time. So that way they don't expire before the move happens. Okay. Also, you want to have enough time to let a move continue developing, right? Like for instance, here we had a very long streak. And if your call options expired too soon in 30 days or something, you may have missed this move and may not have been able to capture the full move. Now, discretion is always advised. Sometimes you'll be able to sell a top. Sometimes, you'll come in here and you'll get the sell signal and, you miss the exact top. I will come in here and be charting these once a week as well, posting the key fib levels and just my own analysis on it. Now, with all of these, you can come in here and change the studies. Okay, the streaks indicator or the streaks flexible grid layout and this study set combination is really meant to make it as easy as possible for beginner users to come in here and just get an overall sense of where we're at in streaks. Okay, we have the moving average streak right here, and then we have the price streak. So this lets you know, right? Like over here, when we're have this, big sell-off essentially, right? And we look, the longest down streak was 7 days. That's actually this streak right here. When we're coming up here and we're seeing that we're testing the previous longest streak, down streak that we've had in the stock, well, that's a good indication that, hey, maybe, maybe the selling is going to perhaps come off sometime soon, right? Or maybe things are just going to start to chop around a little bit. Maybe I want to, close this short position. Same thing with the upside, right? You can see over here, we stopped at a 5-day streak 2 times most recently on price. So we had 2 5-day streaks. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. But yeah, so we had 2 5-day streaks right there. So, once you come back up to that 5-day streak, you say, all right, well, if I have some call exposure, do I want to go ahead and just take the trade off? Because there's going to be new trade ideas every single week. And what's really great about this too is that being that you guys get access to the scans as well, and the scans, you're not really going to be able to replicate them on your own, being that the scans are using custom indicators, that I created. So essentially, the whole purpose that I'm creating these is I know that there's different types of traders, different types of investors, and I want to make it easier for you guys to follow along with trades, get into your own trades on your own without also relying on the Discord, and really just truly utilizing all the resources that are available in the Discord. So, this will every single week, you guys will have actionable trade ideas at your disposal. Okay. With these custom scripts and indicators, with these scans, you can also run them on your own, right? Without necessarily relying on me to post some of them. Now, as I mentioned, the way that this is set up is the buy sell indicator is just going to change the color of the candlesticks based on the signal. Meaning, what does that mean necessarily? Well, it means that sometimes you're going to have red days while these candlesticks are green. Okay, the way that this is set up is the hollow candlestick method. So if it's a hollow candle and it's not colored in, that means that it's a up day. If it's a filled in candlestick, that means that it is a down day, right? So for instance, we got a sell signal here. We had 1 red day followed by 3 up days, right? So we had 1 down day followed by 3 up days, and then we got another down day here and we continued lower. Now, the buy sell signal is actually right here. Okay, this is it right here. So you can also use this to your discretion as well and say, okay, well, let me take a look at some of these stocks. Is this one that I want to buy that's maybe perhaps on the verge, or if it's very choppy, right? Over here, we saw some really nice strength and momentum behind it. And so this can give you a little bit more confidence in the play versus over here where you see it's very choppy, up and down, up and down, up and down. And you see you get lots of different signals, right? You get from a sell to a buy, and then 2 days later, you got to buy again. And then 3 days later, you got to sell just to go back. So you can actually use the line to help give yourself a little bit more discretion, right? Once you see that strong momentum, like even over here, this has a lot more momentum behind it, rather than something like this that's kind of just been chopping around, and like this was over here, kind of just chopping around. So, that's how you use these. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. Okay. I look forward to releasing it to the public for you guys. And right now, everyone who's in the Discord, you guys don't have to pay anything extra for these. These are going to be included in what you guys already have. And, all the people that are in right now are going to basically be grandfathered into all of the new things that I continue to add. But for anybody else looking to join the Discord and get access to some of these different indicators and tools, these will, each one will, be its own individual pricing plan. Okay. So there will be a bundle where you can, join the Discord for a bundle and gain access to everything. Or as I mentioned, if you're someone who's looking for very more quick actionable trades, that you should be able to either get stopped out or take some profit within, sometimes a day trade, as soon as as soon as a day, or within a week. The zone finder is going to be the thing that you want. If you're someone who's more of a swing trader, okay, and is not going to be monitoring the plays every single day, and just wants to know, hey, can I get in this stock? Can I swing it for a couple days, and see if if I get a close signal, whether it's a short, closing a short or closing a long, you'll receive those signals and you'll get those signals, and you don't necessarily have to monitor, every single day, and be constantly looking at the charts, wondering if you need to stop out, or if you need to adjust, your stop loss or different things like that. Okay. So appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys in the Discord.